Scenes of supporters being tear-gassed and kettled into confined waiting areas are still raw for many of the Liverpool fans who went to Paris to see their team in a Champions League final. If the experience of Liverpool fans from Saturday wasn't bad enough, today the French authorities doubled down on their view that the trouble caused was their own fault. Following an emergency meeting, the French Interior Minister claimed the use of paper tickets issued by the club allowed for the possibility of fraud.
Ce qui a été constaté, c'est une fraude massive, industrielle et organisée de faux billets, puisque les préfiltrages évoqués par les stadiers, par le Stade de France et la Fédération française de football prévoient plus de 70% de faux billets à l'entrée du Stade de France.
The minister acknowledged that they were caught out by locals taking advantage of ticketing chaos, but preparing for English football thugs was their main focus.
On s'est beaucoup préparé au hooliganisme. Ce match était un grand enjeu, avec beaucoup de sujets d'ordre public, avec beaucoup de sujets évidemment d'hooligans qui viendraient de l'autre côté de la Manche, vous le savez, et qui ont causé des morts, malheureusement très nombreux dans l'histoire du football et notamment du football anglais.
However, the sports minister did offer an apology to the Liverpool supporters.
We are extremely sorry for all the people whose experience have been wasted all that evening, for the people that had bought tickets and were unable to attend the match. We don't want to say we did everything well, clearly not. But we say there were a number of circumstances that made it difficult. The strike in the transportation, the late arrival, also the fact that we didn't know, we were not able to really locate the people when they arrived here at Stade de France.
The French authorities have asked UEFA to conduct an investigation. Sandra Howard, wife of former Conservative leader Michael Howard, was at the game. She says the issue was the process of checking tickets.
It was very scary. I mean, you wondered whether you were going to be able to breathe at moments. It seemed to me that the biggest problem was that they didn't check properly at the main gate. And when we eventually got sort of fairly near, we could well see that they were just refusing entry, and people had genuine tickets that they were waiving, and the crush was getting more and more. And the fans were absolutely great. They said, "Well, don't worry, we'll look after you." There were one or two who didn't have tickets, but they shouldn't have been stopped at that stage. They should have been stopped at the main gates.
The domestic football season is now over, but the recurring question of how to police football fans continues.
Well, earlier I spoke to Liverpool MP Ian Byrne. He was at the match on Saturday night and was also at the Hillsborough disaster as a teenager in 1989. I began by asking him about reports that Liverpool fans were turning up on Saturday with fake tickets or no tickets at all.
France's sport minister also said at the delay at the kick-off that it was Liverpool fans who arrived late who delayed the kick-off. So you can see the story changing, ever-changing, and I can only speak from a personal experience of what I witnessed on Saturday night, and I didn't see what was described today.
How does it make you feel when the French authorities, the police and politicians are describing Liverpool fans in this way and describing the events in this way?
I think for the Interior Minister to congratulate the police on how they policed the event defies belief. So when you see police forces, tear gas, pepper spray, innocent football supporters treat us like animals and then get congratulated by the Interior Minister, it truly does defy belief. And I believe that they owe Liverpool supporters an apology.
How raw does it feel to kind of link this back to Hillsborough? Lots of fans have been saying so, and it just feels like it's just really painful.
It was horrible, and it did take you back. Took you right back to 1989, and you know, when you're actually begging the stewards to open the gates because there was only 2 gates open for access out of potentially 13, I think. It did take you back to what happened in 1989, because some people were actually kettled in for over 3.5 hours there, without any drink, without any toilet breaks, without any information No information was coming at all from the stadium for why the people were in that situation. And then, as you said, to see people get tear gassed and pepper sprayed and treated like animals, we were treated like animals.
From the French police perspective, they're saying that they need to police the situation. Do you accept that there could have been some fans without tickets who did get in and they needed to check and they needed to make sure that they had safety precautions in place?
I can only tell you what I saw, and I will always do that and speak the truth to what I actually saw. And it was horrific. It was one of the worst, most shambolic policing of any football match I've ever seen. It was the worst since 1989. And it was just a catalogue of serious miscalculations by the authorities. And then obviously what they've done then is try and deflect blame onto the Liverpool supporters. Now, that could have been any other football club, it doesn't matter if it was Liverpool.
From the police's perspective as well, they may have seen kind of recent disorder with English football, pitch invasions, and the reputation of English football fans as well may have been playing on minds there.
Quite possibly, and it did feel like as though there was a hostile environment and an intent once we got there. That was really come through strong, that they had made a decision before that game that they were going to police that in the manner which they policed it in, and they carried it out to the nth degree.
So going forward, how should the police police fans? Because obviously with other matches coming up, that is, this is going to be playing on the minds of fans, as you have said throughout this. So how should this be done?
There's serious questions to be asked about the authorities in France, isn't it? Because they've got real huge events coming up over the next 2 years, including the Rugby World Cup, I believe, and also the Olympics. And if it was anything like we experienced on Saturday night, I wouldn't encourage anybody to attend them events. So they need to learn the lessons of how to police an event properly and treat people with dignity. Lots of people paid lots and lots of money. There was children there. There was people who'd never ever been. That was their dream, to attend that event on Saturday night, and to see what they had to see and had to go through is something which should never ever be replicated. So, we cannot carry on treating football fans like this and events like this.
Ian, Ben, thank you very much for your time.